Joy feather, finding happy everywhere. Sunny and the joy feather, happier together.
Sunny was swimming through.
Hey, Sunny.
My travel size Sunny.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to everybody today. What are we talking about today, Bonita?
Oh, happiness, of course, and how
Of
we get to be
course.
happier together. I mean, that's the overarching, but
Yeah.
overwhelm as well, because overwhelm is very real and it's a daily thing in various levels and in many ways.
Yep. The overwhelm is real. It's so real. And I'm feeling it right now in this time of life that I'm in, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then I'll talk about, we'll be discussing kind of how you make a good decision on how to move forward on something that you want, right? Even when and almost especially when you're kind of not clear on what's the right choice is, and I'm putting right, we always put right in big quotes, and wrong too.
Yeah.
We're not going, so even especially when we're not clear on that, when we are feeling nervous or scared about any outcomes or consequences that might come about from the decision that we make. And if we're not sure, I mean, we're not always sure how a decision might be kind of fitting in with our life and the purposes that we have and the meaning that we're creating out of our life. So yes, what I'm going to share about my own life right now and the edge that I'm on with that is that, as some of you know, I am going nomadic as soon as my house sells. My house is on the market. That's been its own decision-making process
I can
over the,
imagine.
yep, over the past, I guess, few months at least, on like what things to get rid of. I now have all my stuff down, uh, all my physical belongings weeded down to what will fit in my car.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was a decision making process. But I also want to talk about the decision making on what it even what do you, because everybody always asks me, well, what led to your decision to go nomadic, right?
Right.
And it's really interesting because it's the probably the biggest single decision I've ever made in my life, right? I'm going nomadic for at least a year. That is my commitment. That is coming
Wow.
from my belly. It was almost like I had to make that decision. There was no other choice. But how have I been making it? And am I still making it despite the fact that I'm afraid about some
Yeah.
things, that some of the elements of it are overwhelming? Like, yeah, a few months ago, before I had had our moving sale and all that kind of stuff, I did not know what belongings I would keep and what I would let go of. And so that was overwhelming to think about that before that. How to know when to do it, how long to do it for. The fact, and then the biggest thing for me about this is my what I call my growth edge, right? Where
Mhm.
I'm going to be doing this alone, basically, with my cat,
Mhm.
which actually feels even like a little more responsibility. So, well, it's a lot more responsibility. I don't, like the cat's not going to be able to help me change the tire, right? So
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Another life depending on you.
Yes, yes. So yes, all of this has put me really right at the edge of my growth edge. And fortunately, in this case, for me, at this choice, at this time, my joy feather, who's not here today, is my joy feather's out scoping out all the opportunities for joy that we're going to have on the road. That's its job, really, to like be filtering all these things through joy so that the fears and overwhelm feels less. But my growth edge, it does not involve overwhelm. Any choices that I anticipate causing me overwhelm, I and I'll show you a way to figure that out for yourself in a few moments. I I don't do that. I don't flow into that. For me, though, this whole choice is at a place where, yes, I'm stretching myself and I know that it's doable. And I know I have the resources and the capacities to do it all.
Right.
And especially like again, like I said, the joy capacities are the big things that filter through to make this very doable for me. Before I had joy, this was not a choice I was making a few years ago, even though I wanted to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna ask you to like Bonita's gonna share a story in a moment. I hope. Will you do that? Will you share any stories? Okay.
Stories. I am a storyteller.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And yeah, for you out there in, what do you call it again, Bonita?
Greenland.
Greenland, and I call it listening land, and that sort of says like Bonita. I've got my ears like are real strong. Bonita looks at things and sees things very clearly. I love it. So we call it the things that connect for us the most. I love that. But yeah, you too out there, share a time in the comments when you made a decision that kind of scared the bejeezus out of you. Right? But you did it anyway because you found a way to make it doable. So, and you can share any tricks that you had to help yourself into that as well. So go ahead and share that with us in the comments. I don't know if I'll be able to see them now. I know Bonita can't at this moment, but I have it open, so I might be able to see it if you share something now. But you can also share it if you're watching this later and replaying it.
And
So
we'll
yeah,
see it then.
we'll see it then. Yeah, so Bonita, yeah, what's tell us some
Oh,
stories.
oh my goodness. There have been so many times, but I guess one of the biggest decisions I ever had to make wasn't one that I actually chose.
Mhm.
It was after the car accident and the traumatic brain injury. I couldn't go back to the teaching career that I loved so much. And that part was decided for me. I had no say in that decision. It was like, okay, you're done teaching. You cannot go back, because it took me too long learning how to walk and talk properly again. Plus, I was face blind. How can you teach a class when you don't recognize who's in your class? Like, oh, yeah, the kid wearing blue jeans did such and such today. That doesn't work.
Right.
So the decision then became the now what? Am I going to spend the rest of my life focusing on what I've lost, or am I going to build something new? Now, that was really, really a scary decision because there was no roadmap.
Yeah.
And I was really feeling overwhelmed because I didn't know what my future was going to look like anymore.
Mhm.
And I wondered if I'd ever be able to make the kind of difference that I'd made as a teacher. I loved teaching. And then all of a sudden, nope, you can't do it anymore. And I actually put the decision off for quite a while because I was still grieving that life that I expected to have, the one that was in the rearview mirror.
Mhm.
But eventually I realized that waiting for my old life to come back wasn't helping me build my new one.
Mhm.
And what finally made it easier wasn't getting rid of the fear. It was realizing I didn't have to have the next 10 years all figured out. I just needed that next tiny step. So I found my growth edge by asking, what's one tiny step that's a little scary, but not so scary that I freeze? And that's where momentum started.
Yes. All right. Always the tiny steps towards it. And yeah, that's also what this tool that I'm going to share with everybody helps with too. It helps to break those decisions down into tinier and tinier steps as you use it, over and over again. So Bonita and I are going to model it for you because we have been dared. Sunny wrote in a letter. Sorry, Joy Feather wrote in a letter to Sunny, sent a letter off from Joy Feather's Travels to Sunny to say, I dare you. Okay, so here we are. We are going to play Dare or Dare. This is what we play sometimes here, because it's all truth. It's all truth here. So we don't even need the truth part of this. So we just go ahead and play Dare or Dare, and because there's no other choice but to do the dare. And what they're going to dare us to do, Bonita, us and everybody out there in screen land, listening land, right, is to say yes today to something that you want, but you also feel a little nervous about. It does not have to be any big deal thing, okay? Right? Make it simple, like when to take a break at work, or for me, it's like a simple thing. Although it's not, I'm not calling it an easy choice, but I want to dye my hair with some purple, and that I'm not going to bleach my hair. I just want to make the grays be a little purple just for a month or two, and
Uh-huh.
and I'm making the decision right now about whether or not to do that. Right? share it in the comments, whatever you know, want to do, something simple, but feel a little bit nervous about. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share the tool with you. I'm going to explain a little bit about it, right? I'll use my hair as an example, right? So this tool is called the Edge of Yes, right? And it's basically a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 to 3 is like you're on cozy autopilot, I call it, where there's like no edge. There's very low risk, like coloring my hair purple. What's the real risk, right? It might be a little
Drifting through life with
right.
no issues.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing is, it may feel a little flat too, right?
Mm.
So it, you know, that kind of decision might not feel as exciting as we might want a decision to feel. So yeah, like how could I bump up the fun of it for myself, right? I would think about it in those ways. If I was in 0 to 3 realm, I'm going to skip over the middle for a second. And I'm going to talk about the 7 to 10 realm, which is system overload, right? Say that I was absolutely terrified that if I do my hair purple and then come on here the next week or go into a business meeting online or something like that, and people notice my hair purple and they're going to judge me. Like, say I was really worried about that, which sometimes sometimes people do judge things like that, right? And say that puts me into being like frozen or stuck about it, or feeling overwhelmed or dissociating from it, and my body is saying it's not safe. That's when I'd be in system overload. The edge of yes part, going back to the middle, the sweet spot, I call it, or where our stretch zone and our growth edge is 4 to 6, right? And that's kind of where I am actually with with turning my hair purple for a little while, right? I have a little bit of nerves. I'm not sure what they're about actually. I know it's not about coming into these spaces and being seen with purple hair. I really don't know what it's about, so I have some exploring to do in that area. And I also feel, you know, a little excited, a little curious about what that means to even explore that. I'm just a little uncomfortable with it. And that is the best place for me to go ahead and say yes to this decision, because I'm then telling my subconscious that I'm stretching, that I can stretch. I'm not putting false limitations on myself. If I really want to do this, which I know I want my hair to be purple for a little while, I already know that answer. So it's that's the decision I'm going to make. It's just a matter of like getting a little bit of support, exploring a little bit, and making it happen. So yeah, Bonita, do you?
I just actually had a thought about
Okay.
that, talking about that stretch. You know when you have a rubber band and it's just sitting there and it's all loose, it's not
Yes.
doing anything. It
Mm,
needs to have some stretch, some tension on it in order to do its job.
yeah.
So that's the thing. It's that tension in our lives to make us become more of what we could possibly be.
Exactly. And I can already feel, again, I think one of the reasons that I know I'm at a growth edge with this is because I can feel how turning my hair purple, which again seems like an inconsequential thing over in the scheme of things, but you know, doing that is a choice that is going to, because I feel a little nervous about it for whatever reason, choosing it anyway is going to be part of my nomadic movement, which starts officially in October, the end of October, early November. So even if my house doesn't sell, which is another thing I'm on the growth edge about, right? So that choice it's telling my nervous system something. It's telling my body something, right? So yeah, in listening land, feel into or think about or look out at future and see what's the decision that you have that can be simple, that you could use that tool with today and make it happen. Make a decision from your edge of yes. Bonita, what do you got going on for this?
Well, actually, I'm right in the thick of that right now. I'm using that for my current way of thinking because I'm here in Newfoundland now. I'm helping my mom. She had some health challenges, and I'm making some big decisions about balancing life, family, business, speaking, where I spend my time. And every single option has pros and cons. Every single one has drama and trauma potentials.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of tool you're talking about, that reminds me to stop looking for that perfect decision and instead ask, what is the next one that's just a little outside my comfort zone, but still feels doable? So that's going to keep me moving ahead instead of staying stuck, trying to make that so-called perfect choice when there is no
Exactly.
such thing as perfect.
Yeah, the next one, the next decision, right? And so that this edge of yes tool you can use at the smallest level, right? Say that I was at overwhelm with making my hair purple. Say I was there and I knew I wanted to do it, but I was at overwhelm, right? Like what's one idea that I could do, right? Think about that for yourself, and Bonita will probably come up with one for me here. What's one idea that I could do that would get me to the place where I'm down to that 4 to 6 level, right? Of making my hair purple. Yeah. What could I do if I was in overwhelm? Bonita, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you can put it off, or you can do a test section, maybe underneath, so that the
Yep.
top is still the same, but then when you pull your hair up and back, it's a
Yep.
different color underneath. So
Mhm.
it's truly temporary.
Yeah. So yeah. So I
Put your
can
hair down and it's fine.
Right. So I can imagine that even if I was feeling overwhelmed about it for whatever reason, testing out a section that's not visible would feel, could feel, depending on my moment, right? And there are 1,000, by the way, there are 1,000 ideas where those kind of things come from. That's where Bonita and I come in and how we help people. So we got a million of them, and once we get to know you, then those ideas come hard and fast, and or easy and fast, I should say. So what
They just kind of
are
tumble out.
Right, exactly, and they get tailored to our clients, right? They get tailored to you, who, you know, and your, you know, personal growth edges, which everybody's is
Yes.
different.
And
So
your
yeah,
personality, your wants, your
yeah,
needs, your desires, your limitations.
yep,
All of these things are considered, of course,
yeah.
and they should be. There's no one size fits all. That's why we say there's no perfect.
No, perfect. All right. So, what are the consequences of staying stuck in indecision? Now, the consequences of me not turning my hair purple are probably not that huge. Um, Although, like I said, if I never make choices that are small like that, then I'm not building an amplification for being able to, for having the capacity to make bigger choices. So that's
Mm.
one thing.
Yeah,
Um,
it's practice.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then about those things that are consequential, that are, influential on making our lives move forward and fulfilling our dreams and doing what we want and getting what we want, or having what we want. Yeah, we could be missing opportunities if we
Mm.
stay in that just indecision longer. Um, Life does continue. It could end up kind of being too late. I have a story about that in a moment. And well, my story kind of includes that, and it includes another consequence, that we might not end up being aligned with our purpose and what we want our life to mean. Decisions are really important for that. And my example of that is that I waited, and I always wanted to sing. I always wanted to perform. And I waited. I mean, I wanted to, but I didn't totally admit it to myself out loud. But I did really want to. And I waited until I was 33 years old to do that in public. I waited until I was 50 to put out my first solo album. That was a few years ago. And now I'm doing this business, and it was the way it has happened the way it needs to be. Everything happens the way it needs to happen. But if I had kept waiting, if I had kept waiting, well, and certainly I did miss some opportunities during that time when I was younger and everything. And it's never too late, but the longer we wait, then the alignment with our purpose, doesn't get to line up as quickly or as easily and powerfully. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. And Bonita, you have any stories about any time that
Mm.
something passed you by, or
I was just thinking, I mean, at the end of a person's life, they're not thinking about, um, they're working 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week, whatever it is. They're thinking about the things they didn't do, the
yeah,
things they missed out on. Like, why didn't I go to Fiji when I had that chance?
yeah,
That kind of thing. So
yeah,
sometimes, yeah, it's big and it's scary, but you practice. I mean, when you have children, you don't say, "What would you like to wear today?" to a 2-year-old, and they have
mhm,
free reign of the closet. You hold up two outfits, say, "Which
mhm,
would you like to wear today?" It speeds things up.
yeah, yeah,
And some things might even match for a little while, but then eventually you make it so they have three to choose from, and then four, then five, then pick whatever you like, because they've got that muscle strengthened inside of their head for
yeah.
making those decisions. And of course, I've had lots of opportunities I didn't take over my life because I didn't think I was ready.
Like what?
We
Yeah.
tell you about the singing. We have an expression here in Newfoundland because that's where I am right now and it's where I'm from. Can't sing, can't dance, and I'm too fat to fly.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. Yeah, that was like a triple.
But we say it and we laugh. I mean,
Yeah.
most Newfoundlanders can sing and dance. I don't know any
Okay.
that can fly, but anyway, they can sing and dance.
Yeah.
So it's just, silly little things that roll off your tongue, right? Just for fun. But
Okay.
I mean, I've had lots of things happen to me. I didn't think I was ready. And looking back now, I realized I wasn't protecting myself. I was protecting that good old comfort zone
Mhm.
because I ended up becoming a dancer.
Mhm.
I did ballroom dancing and belly dancing, and I was a performer. I used to go and perform at weddings and galas and things like that. A few
Mhm.
years before that, no, absolutely not. Too
Mhm.
shy, too afraid. And then one day I said, I've got to do this. I have to get outside that comfort zone and see if I can survive.
Mhm.
And those
And of
missed
course you did.
opportunities. Yeah, that's right. I did. But I got to tell you, my little heart was going, thunk, thunk, thunk,
Yep.
really badly.
Yeah.
But I did it.
Mhm.
And I got off that stage. Nobody knew when I messed up except for me.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
fine.
Yep.
And those opportunities that you miss, though, that sometimes they can become your great teachers.
Yeah.
And they helped me realize I'd rather feel nervous because I tried than disappointed because I never gave
Right.
myself that chance.
Yep.
So you might not get a choice as to what happens to us, like me with the accident, for example.
Mhm.
The big thing is the real decision is what are you going to do next?
Mhm. What are you gonna do next? All right, I got something for you to do next.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Well, you've done this already, Bonita.
We're ready.
Yeah. Hi, Sunny. Yeah, you've already done this. You could do it again anytime you want. I think I've taken some of your quizzes a couple of times. Like the momentum reset thing, or I think it was a momentum one. Anyway, so this one's called the Creative Burnout Quiz, and even if you have already taken it, do it again, because this is what shows you what about your nervous system is, in the discomfort zone. Bonita was talking about the comfort zone and how to stretch out of that. Like, what is there that you can stretch into, and then how can what energies can you sort of call to bear on this moment in order to help your nervous system move ahead while you're in your discomfort zone with something you want, but also something that makes you feel a little nervous, right? Again, not overwhelm. Those things are, you don't need to choose those right now. You can wait on those and just keep asking yourself the questions. But the things that are, in that stretch zone, 4 to 6 out of 10 level of nervous or anxiety or discomfort, whatever those things are, this quiz is going to help you first find the energy for, whether it's clarity that you need more of, or energy, like actual, like physical feeling, momentum kind of energy, or resilience. What of those things does your nervous system need most? And then also, as a bonus, for, along with that quiz, once you take it, you're going to get the actual tool that I use for the Edge of Yes scale, to have it in front of you, the 0 out of 10 rating, and have that right in front of you with all of the details on how to use it, right? So I have a cool story from a client from it's recent, or it's coming to fruition recently. It's been in the works for a little while, and for her, it's been in the works for many years. So she was stuck on a thing that she wanted to do, which was to write her memoir and publish it, right? And for a long time, like many, many, many years, her nervous system was, didn't have clarity, didn't have energy, didn't have resilience, or any of it, right? And it was so used to deciding a no, a little bit of discomfort, tasks and actions that it would take to fulfill this book project. And so she probably, I guess it was early last summer, she made one tiny decision to use it, using the scale, right? Putting things on the scale from 0 to 10. She made one tiny decision. That's how it started, which was at a 4 to 6 growth zone, stretch zone, edge of yes level. And now within a few months of that, she had published that book, and she's now also doing other things this summer
Right.
that she had been putting off for years too. And she's still using that scale. We use it together sometimes to help her figure out what, the details, like what decision does feel like an edge of yes versus what decision might feel like overwhelm, or what feels easy, and then how to like really make the most out of that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So yeah. And I'll say me too. I've been, like I said, I wanted to go nomadic for years. And only once I started using this scale and figuring out what in my nervous system needed attention, at that point is when the choices that I've been making feel sane and doable and clear. I feel very clear and confident now. I feel unstoppable. So
Yeah.
think of a goal in listening land, screen land. Think of a goal that you have. I'm like wiggling right now. I don't know if you can see that.
All excited.
Yeah. Think of a goal that you have or something that you want to move forward on. And maybe you feel nervous about it, but you do not want to listen, look back in a year and be like, oh, whoops, I didn't do the thing. I'm still right where I was, right? Think of a goal that's like that you want.
There's only one thing scarier than not trying. It's being in the same spot in a year.
Yeah.
That's that you don't want that. And in a year from now, I want to look back and say, yeah, the Wild Happiness Project reached thousands more people because I stopped waiting until everything was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want another notebook that's just full of random ideas that I know will help people, but I never get it out there. I want to know those ideas became books and talks and videos and conversations that help people smile again.
Yep.
And of course, everybody's version is different. So maybe it's writing your own book, taking a trip, having a tough conversation, or maybe it's taking better care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it is, imagine how good it's going to feel when your future little you looks back and says, I am so glad I started when I did. I mean, here's the thing we used to say. I wish I was as fat today as the first time I thought I was fat.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've heard that.
Yeah. So, it gives you an idea like, oh my goodness, there's like a 40-pound span in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and back then you were thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so this, I'm so that.
I was.
And you look back and you go, it wasn't that bad,
Yep.
So anyways, I'm so glad I started when I did. And today's the best day to start.
Right. And to be future you.
Yeah.
So, right. So, so you're going to find that future you, you're going to find your, the thing that you're on the growth edge with, that you want, something you really want, and want to help with making a decision on, and then submit your quiz to get the energy, what your nervous system needs most to move forward on it. And, I didn't even say there's a QR code right there. I also will say out loud, it's quiz.growyourwholevoice.com. That will be in the liner, the description, whatever of this, on whatever channel you're watching it on. Quiz.growyourwholevoice.com, or you can use this QR code here too. And you'll just submit that quiz, get the nervous system information, and then also in your email, you'll get the tool that shows you exactly how to use that edge of yes scale, this beautiful scale of 0 to 10 to make decisions.
Tools need instructions, and instructions are good.
Right. And that'll help you to make decisions on your goal, the thing that you want, with more power and more confidence. Okay. So I'm really excited to support you in getting these things that you want and help you make those decisions in ways that help you move forward more quickly. And you can be looking back in a month and saying, I'm well on my way to this, right? So thank you so much. Thanks to you, Bonita.
Thank you. And you know what? It's amazing, that little bit of momentum. All it takes is that tiny little bit to get the thing rolling. Mm-hmm. And then things start to fall into place a whole lot better. And you try and take bigger bites.
Yep.
And you work your way along. Yeah. I like to think of it as like termites. Tiny little bites at first.
Right. And I promise this quiz is the tiniest bite. it really is. And so is the edge of yes scale. It's pretty easy.
That's what people need. Yeah. They need something that's doable. I always tell my folks that if you think about doing something and it's overwhelming, make it smaller. If it's still feeling like it's too big, make it smaller again. Just keep getting smaller and smaller until you say, yep, I can do this. Then go do it.
All right. Do it. Follow that QR code, take the quiz, and we will see you next week. Bye, Sunny. Let's play our little outro music here.
Sunny and the joy, finding happy everywhere. joy feather. Happier
Happier
together.
together.